Testing, are we recording? Hi guys, let's talk football. We are on. This is good. So this is podcast number 1 where I will be I just thought I'd come back on YouTube to talk about, of course, the biggest tournament in the whole world. It's the World Cup 2026 and the date is the 17th of June. Currently as this is being recorded. So this is kind of like my little my notebook. So it's my little World Cup podcast notebook audio podcast, where I'm just going to be going. But I just thought I'd come on quickly onto YouTube. Hopefully, get this thing uploaded before the England game. If it's not, though, you will be seeing this recorded after the England game. So just wanted to talk about a few things really. So England are playing today at 9 p.m. I've just seen as well that Cristiano Ronaldo has actually started for Portugal, which is interesting. Getting a bit off topic here. This is all live as well, so no editing. Just wanted to go through some of the talking points of the World Cup really. So England take on Croatia for the first game. Then it's Ghana, and then it's Panama. So where shall I begin? Shall we talk a little bit about the England squad? So for the 26-man squad that Thomas Tuchel has decided to take. So first of all, I'll read it out. Pickford, Henderson, Watkins. I'm reading this in a very weird order. What's going on? So for the goalkeepers, it's Jordan Pickford, Dean Henderson, and James Trafford. At the back in defence, he's gone with Konsa, Gahey, Stones, Byrne, Nico Riley, Jed Spence, Tino Livramento. In fact, so I need to talk about Tino Livramento. So Tino Livramento is, of course, usually used as a right back option for England. He has sustained an injury very recently in the last sort of few days. So Trevor Chalobah from Chelsea has been called in to replace him. So that'll be interesting to see how he gets on, as he's been called up from the provisional 55-man squad. Gerald Quansah as well is worth mentioning. Will be playing. He can play sort of right and left. So you got some players there in defence that can play in multiple positions. So that's what Thomas Tuchel has picked, all these players. You got Reece James as our main right back option, and then in midfield, then you got of course Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, Elliot Anderson. Jordan Henderson plays probably his last tournament for England, or you'd expect to be last World Cup. Mainu and Rogers in the middle, as well as Eze. I sort of your midfield, and then you got Saka for your forwards, Kane, Rashford, Madueke, and Ivan Toney has been asked. Has got a call up, which was a bit unexpected. England fans and myself weren't expecting it. We thought maybe, obviously we thought Watkins would go, and I should say Watkins is in there as well, of course. Ollie Watkins, the old boy from, the young boy from who used to play for Exeter, has made it into the squad as well. So that's good to see him in there, and hopefully he can score some goals. But yeah, Ivan Toney was a little bit of a weird one, being called from the Saudi league. Not many people are expecting that, but looking more into it, I'm actually glad that he's gone with Ivan Toney over someone like a Danny Welbeck. Or I did actually put on my squad that Dominic Solanke should go to the World Cup, but he hasn't been fixed. He sustained an injury. So I actually think it's quite a good. It's got some good options as our forwards. To be fair, of course, Ivan Toney is getting on a little bit now with his age, but we do have Ollie Watkins as a very good backup to Harry Kane. Let's talk about Kane, by the way. He has been outrageous recently. Like for Bayern, his numbers, scoring more goals than ever. He's peak fitness. He looks sort of better than he's ever done. He's really coming into his prime now, and we've got him in coming into this tournament the best possible Harry Kane that we can. So it's really good to see. I just think we need to wrap Harry Kane in cotton wool for this World Cup. I wouldn't necessarily. I definitely didn't say that going into the last tournament in the Euros. I don't think Harry Kane actually performed anywhere near the standards we expect in that tournament. But he has obviously he showcased some very high class talent and striking ability in previous England tournaments of England. So we know that he can do it on the big stage. He is in this tournament though, like he's just going into it in the time of his life, in his best prime. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. But hopefully, obviously, if he gets injured, I think it's all over. Forget about it. We ain't winning the World Cup. It's also worth mentioning that France, they played Senegal the other day. They look on fire at the moment. Of course, you've got Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele. But let's talk about. Sorry, just get my notes here. This is live. I haven't prepared this very well at all, have I? Blah 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 blah. 138. Sorry about this, but I haven't got any time to edit anything, so this is going out live. So you got Barcola and Michael Olise. They played for France against Senegal. I believe Barcola came on for Dembele, but just what an attack France has got! It's just outrageous, and I think it's going to be really difficult for England to. Well, I was thinking this to myself, like there's not many teams in the world that can stop, I think, this France squad in the World Cup. Maybe the only teams I can really think of is that maybe like the likes of Spain, Portugal, Brazil, Argentina, and then definitely England as well. But all those teams, including England, have to be top form in order to try and beat this team. Maybe at the back they're not looking as strong as they have done France, and also even in the middle. They've got obviously young midfielders coming through like Tchouameni, Kone. N'Golo Kante's getting old now, so he's not as good. But yeah, they do have some good talent. They've obviously got, it's worth mentioning, Rabiot as well. That's probably enough of the talking about the French squad, though. Let's talk now about the team that we are going to play. 60 years of hurt. First game of this tournament, we are playing Croatia. So Croatia are obviously a team that in the last World Cup, I believe they got to the semi-finals, got knocked out. And then in the previous World Cup before that, 2018 World Cup, they got to the final where they lost to France. And on their way to that final, they played England in the semi-final. And to be honest, for most of that second half, they outplayed England and they sort of deserved to win. First half, though, I think England should have done more, broke them down and scored more goals. They are an aging squad, and their talisman is, of course, Luka Modric. Is he still going to be the player he once was? That's going to be one of the big questions. You've also got, let's have a look at my notes, Mateo Kovacic for Manchester City in the midfield with him. Obviously, it's still a very strong midfield. If Guardiola's fit, he'll play. He's obviously been brilliant for Man City as well. Whether or not he'll play in a sort of centre-back pairing or he'll be out as a wing-back. Most likely, Croatia tend to play three at the back, but sometimes they actually play... they go into a four. If that happens, if they do go into, let's say you've got four at the back, it will allow them to play a young player called Petr Sucic, and he plays for Inter Milan, and he's been really good, and a lot of talks about him taking over from Luka Modric. So it'd be interesting to see if they play him, how they play, how they set up against England. Most likely, though, you're looking at, of course, their sturdy goalkeeper Dominik Livkovic. I hope I'm pronouncing these right. So he'll start in goal, and then you've got most likely for Sucic, Sotalo. You'll have obviously Luka Modric, Kovacic, Guardiola, most likely, and then Stanic on the right, Perisic, Kramic as your forwards, and then as the in the nine, so your striker, it will most likely be uh, Budimir. Some of those names I have almost definitely not pronounced correctly. Um, but like I say, if you can get Sucic, Kovacic, and Modric all in that midfield, you've got a pretty formidable midfield against England. It's just whether or not they can break England down. We definitely don't have the best defence in the world. Talking of England against Croatia as well, with the sort of the squad, I will want to just quickly go through how how I think Tuchel may line us up. So obviously it'll be Jordan Pickford, the most reliable man between the sticks for England. He always has been. Of course he'll start, and then I think it'll be Nico O'Reilly on the left. Mark Gahey, although there are some rumours that Stones is going to start instead of Gahey, which is a bit of a surprising one. I thought that Mark Gahey would be like nailed on to be the starting centre back for England. He'll be, if it's Stones, he'll be alongside Concert and then James on the right, and then in your middle, it depends how he's going to set up. Uh, England will almost definitely play as a 4-2-1 2-1 formation, or 4-2-1-3 formation, however you like to put it. But Tuchel has also set up England recently as a 4-3-3. So let's say, so they are suggesting that it could be a 4-3-3. So if that is the case, I'm expecting to see Bellingham, Anderson, and Rice playing in the three in the midfield. Possibly Saka on the right, but it does depend on his fitness. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was Madueke. Kane as obviously your main striker, and then on the left, I do think Thomas Tuchel will pick Anthony Gordon. I would maybe go with Rashford, but then Anthony Gordon looks like he's pretty sharp. He played in that game against Costa Rica and he looked really good. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on as well. But yeah, I think that'll be the starting 11 against Croatia. Obviously, there might be a couple of changes into those players, interchangeable players that I mentioned. I would probably go with pretty much all of those as well. I'd probably start Saka, but again, it just depends how fit he's feeling. He has said he's ready to go in interviews. Um, and yeah, we have no more Livramento now. We've got Chalobah instead going to the World Cup. I hope I'm not travelling on too much here. This is just a little tester run of my podcast episode 1. Just wanted to get it recorded quickly before England take on Croatia and see what we can do. There are some also quickly mentioned before I end the recording. There are some new rules going into the World Cup that include hydration breaks. So there's going to be more VAR. I'll just go through, let's have a look at some of my notes here. I'll just go through some of the rule changes. Don't want to bore you too much to anyone that's actually listening to this. So FIFA has introduced 11 measurements specifically for the tournament. Rule changes that include new powers for the video assistant referee and a whole host of new measures to protect the game, the tempo of the game. So there's going to be quite a lot of time-saving measures. I can just go into there's going to be this new measure where, as well, if someone is injured, when the physio goes on, once the player comes off, they have to stay off for a minimum of 1 minute before they're then allowed back on, so people don't sort of that player isn't effective in the game, basically. So that's a way of sort of helping them stop wasting time. So there's a lot of time saving measures like that, as well as the goalkeeper tactical timeout where they sit on the floor. That's been a recent discussion. They are implementing ways to get rid of that. I've lost all my information. That's all about VAR. Oh, I don't know. I've lost a lot of it now. I don't know what's happened there. Sorry about this. So there'll now be countdowns for goal kicks and throw-ins. If a player deliberately delays the restart of play, a goal kick could become a corner or the throw given to the opposition. The count will not begin when the ball goes out of play. So now referees will choose to activate it if a player is taking too long. So that's an interesting rule that they've implemented. Time-limited substitutions. You'll only have 10 seconds. Substituted players have 10 seconds to leave the field at the nearest point. If they do not do that, the substitute cannot enter the field for at least another minute, and the team must play with only 10 men. So there's some of the decisions. I've just seen quickly go on to sport website. So I'm just going to see. Yeah, so the lineups have just been confirmed. So I can quickly talk about the lineup for the game against Croatia. So Pickford is starting in goal, of course. It is Reece James on the right, Konsa and Stones as they rumoured, which is weird. So Mark Gay's not starting for some reason. Nico O'Reilly will start on the left, and so he's gone with a 4-2-3-1 formation. So Anderson will start on the right in the midfield, and Rice on the left in the midfield, and then you've got Madueke as I mentioned probably will start, and he has, and then Bellingham in the middle as number 10. So that's good to see instead of Rodgers, because I preferred the idea of having Bellingham starting most games in the 10 instead of Rodgers. I wasn't sure what he'd do. Gordon's on the left, and then you got Kane up front as our striker. Still a very good squad, but a little bit confused why Gay hasn't started. Other than that, it's pretty expected squad that we expected England to start with. Just checking on my notes. Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little quick podcast. I'll get it uploaded, and then hope you enjoy the England game. Come on, England! And then after this game, and might be tomorrow, I will go through my reaction of what I thought of the game and any analysis and little notes I'll make, and I'll keep you updated. And hopefully, these little podcast recordings will get a little bit better than me being rushed and not know what I'm talking about. Anyway, cheers. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.